Cruise news, a pickpocketing ring targeting cruisers has been uncovered. I'm going to get you the information on that. Plus, we have the top 10 cruise news updates from across the cruise industry, and I'm going to get you the information fast coming up. Welcome to the Travel Scouts. My name is Jason and we are your cruise information channel. We get you the cruise news and information you're looking for quickly without wasting your time. So if you love cruising, consider subscribing. Let's go ahead and kick this off with number one. Carnival Cruise Line is removing libraries from their cruise ships. This was being done relatively quietly, but one cruiser wrote to Carnival Cruise Line brand ambassador John Hill to ask them about the situation. The cruiser noted that new ships did not have them and they were being removed from some older ships while in dry dock. John Hill responded saying that they were correct, and he gave two reasons why they were being removed. First, it allows Carnival to put venues like bars and restaurants in those spaces. And second, Carnival Cruise Line was seeing fewer and fewer people actually using the libraries. Number two, we have a hurricane season update. The Eastern Pacific is currently clear with no cyclone formation expected in the next 48 hours. But there is some activity in the Atlantic. The Atlantic has two weather systems of concern. We do have some good news about Tropical Storm Felipe. This storm was forecasted by the National Hurricane Center to move towards Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic. However, the most up-to-date forecast now shows the storm turning north and moving out to sea. The strength of the storm has remained about the same, with max sustained winds of 45 miles per hour. The other weather system of concern is Tropical Storm Rina. It also has max sustained winds of 45 miles per hour, and it also is currently forecasted to turn north and move out to sea. Moving on to number three, a very important update on the dengue outbreak in Jamaica. Jamaica's Ministry of Health did confirm the presence of the outbreak this past weekend. Dengue is a virus spread by infected mosquitoes. Health officials have now provided an update, stating that children between the ages of 5 and 14 have been the most impacted by the outbreak. Jamaica has put their blood banks on high alert and they are taking other actions to deal with the situation. Just something to be aware of if you and your family will be cruising to Jamaica in the coming weeks. Now, many of us do sometimes fly in order to get to our cruise ports. And that brings us to number four. Expedia.com has released some great to know flight booking information. These are their top 5 pieces of advice for flight booking, and I'm going to give them to you in rapid fire fashion. First, according to Expedia's data, the sweet spot for getting the best price on domestic flights is 28 days in advance. They reported that travelers who did this saved an average of 24% compared to those that booked last minute. Then the sweet spot for international flights is to book 60 days in advance. And then for their third piece of advice, when is the cheapest day of the week to book your flight? They say it is Sunday and the most expensive day is Friday. Expedia said that travelers who booked on Sunday saved an average of 13%. And then for their fourth piece of advice, the cheapest day of the week to actually fly is Thursday. Sunday was the most expensive. Travelers who chose to fly on Thursday saved around 16%. And then for their fifth piece of advice, when is the best time of day to fly? Well, they said that flights departing before 3 p.m. are 50% less likely to be delayed than flights that depart after 3 p.m. Number 5, Royal Caribbean has upped the age limit for access to their adult swimming pools. This applies for the Solarium, which is an indoor-outdoor retreat for adults. The age restriction was previously 16 plus, but they have now upped it to 18 plus. Royal Caribbean said that this provides consistency with the access requirement for their other adult areas. And the push to up the age limit has been a hot button topic for many years. Okay, we have 5 cruise news pieces remaining, including the top headlines of the day, but quick question, chime in down below. Speaking of adult areas on cruise ships, here's the question. When you go on a cruise, do you typically use the adult areas? Chime in down below with A for yes or B for no. I will look forward to reading that, but now on with the cruise news. Number 6, Royal Caribbean has uncancelled a cruise. Cruisers booked on the December 21st Christmas sailing on board the Freedom of the Seas cruise ship were told that their voyage was canceled back in June. The cruise ship was going to be going into dry dock, but that has now changed and the cruise has been uncancelled. So the originally booked passengers have the opportunity to be reinstated on the cruise at a protected price if they choose to do so. But they have to let Royal Caribbean or their travel agent know by October 3rd. Next, number 7, celebrity cruises will not be allowing vaping or smoking in their casinos moving forward. This was confirmed by Celebrity Cruises' new president this week. The cruise line had allowed vaping in their casinos on 2 of their cruise ships for a period of 8 weeks as a tester. But they said that the feedback that they received was that the vast majority of cruisers did not want vaping to be permitted. Number 8, Carnival Cruise Line has opened the bookings for the cruises that will visit their brand new destination on the island of Grand Bahama. The name of the destination is Celebration Key, and it is scheduled to open in July of 2025. There will be a total of 12 different cruise ships from 8 different home ports that will visit the destination. If you would like to see the full list of cruise ships and home ports that will have that opportunity, I will put all that information down in the video description. Number 9, Celebrity Cruises is reinstating a loyalty benefit for their top tier cruisers. The top tier for Celebrity Cruises is the Zenith level. Cruisers reach this level when they hit 3,000 club points. And Celebrity does their points a little different than some cruise lines. Their points are based upon the room you book. The higher the level of the stateroom, the more club points you get per night. Well, the Zenith level members will now once again have access to the retreat lounges or the Michaels clubs on some ships. Those are the most exclusive areas on a Celebrity cruise. Then number 10, a pickpocketing ring targeting cruisers has been discovered and dismantled. This took place at the cruise port on the Greek island of Santorini. Multiple members of the crime ring were tasked with acting as fellow travelers and then identifying potential victims. They targeted cruise passengers because they were on the island for such a short period of time. It was very rare that they promptly reported the incidents to local authorities. But based on some tips, the local authorities conducted a sting operation and they caught them in the act. When they searched the criminals, they found they had thousands of dollars in their possession at that time. A few really quick tips about preventing pickpocketing. 1, keep your valuables hidden. 2, prep any money that you need. If you know you're going to be using $50, $100 once you get into the port area, don't leave all of that in your wallet. Go ahead and take the amount of cash that you think you're going to need and put that in a more accessible area. Then if they end up getting into that compartment and getting that, at least they didn't get the vast majority of your valuables. Number 3, if you need to use an ATM, use the one on the cruise ship if you can. Most cruise ships do have an ATM. It's generally located close to their guest relations area. Use it there because when you get into port, that is a prime area for pickpockets to watch you because they're going to see what you do with that money once you get it. Number 4, watch for watchers. Keep your eye out for those that are just standing around and watching the tourist. It could be just like those that were tasked within this crime ring. They are identifying potential victims. And number 5, be alert in high traffic areas. Watch out for those times when there's a lot of people pushed in together because once they identify a potential victim, they know where you're keeping your stuff at and it's easily accessible. They'll wait for those times where they can squeeze in on you and then with sleight of hand or some way, they can get your valuables out. As always, when you're cruising and when you're traveling, keep your head on a swivel. Okay, subscribe and turn the notification bell on to stay up to date with the latest cruise news and information. The next video will be coming out soon, but until then, keep on cruising and we'll catch you in the next video.